There's been a delay recently. Okay, I think we're live. Hey there, folks. Hey there, good folks. Dr. Charlie Brown here. Welcome to today and our Charlie Chats. Let us take our 3 deep breaths together and dive right in. So, I am doing better than I've been doing in the last couple of weeks. It's been very rough. I've been feeling all of the unsettled, uprising energy and the fear associated with that on several different parts and sides. And I've just felt that like it's sitting on top of me this whole time. So that has been rough, to say the least. And finally feeling a little bit better. I started back with my energy routine a couple of days ago, and that really does help. It really does realign my energy to kind of my core self. And I think when I asked Spirit, I said, Spirit, what are we talking about today? And Spirit said, we're talking about the creation of something new. I've recently been in conversation with a friend, a new friend, and I am not casual with the word friend. Facebook drove me crazy when it came out, and I never got used to it. I just sort of ignore it. The casualization of friendship, I never got used to it. So friend is not casual. But this person is relatively new to my life, and she said something recently, and I'm calling her a friend. She said something recently that I never heard before. And I said, yes, that's it. That is the piece that is something I was a little bit confused about broad as a broad sweeping thing, but that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge the reality of it or the humanity of it. But she said something and she's like, oh, and that for me was the piece that kind of clicked it all into place. And I think collectively that's where we are. We're learning to define things in a new way, learning to name things in a new way. And perhaps the person over there has a piece that you don't have, because you can't have. We're all sitting or standing or situating ourselves at one particular location that is that is me, is mine. Even if we were standing on a circle, if we were standing next to each other, two people on a circle cannot occupy the exact same location. Very, very similar, but still this person sees more to this side and this person sees more to the other side. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of dismantling things to recombine. Some of them are going to get recombined, some pieces are going to get tossed, and new pieces are going to arise. What does that look like for you at your individual part of the collective? What does it what does it mean that you have a critical piece of the work with a capital W, piece of the living, piece of the experience? Your piece is valuable. Now, for people who have been doing this work, this deep spirit-led work, for a long time, we may have some insights into the underpinnings, the undergirdings of what's happening. If you have a spirit person or people, I suggest you consult them at this point in time. People who haven't been doing the work, your life is probably in a tizzy. You're probably feeling all sorts of emotions, including guilt and anger and sadness, and I wish it wasn't this way and all of that. And if you're a white person, understand that those feelings are yours to deal with and not any person of color, any particular group of people of color. It's not theirs to deal with. And frankly, in this moment, they may not want to hear it. Deal with your stuff. There are other white people who are doing this work who maybe you can hear better, but your guilt, and shame and whatever may be coming up, you need to deal with that on your own. You need to not put the onus of dealing with that onto somebody else, particularly a group or groups of people who have had to deal with yours for a long time without dealing with their own. Deal with your own stuff. That's what this time is about. Is dealing with your own stuff. And seeing what it means in a very lived and visceral sense, but also in a metaphorical sense. I've been having trouble not hearing. My ears have just been doing funny things lately. And finally, this morning, this has been happening for months. This morning, I finally understand that it's not what am I not supposed to hear. It's not external, it's internal. How can I focus more on the quiet and the stillness within myself? Finally, really, this has been happening for months. And so I'm shifting. I'm able to move into the direction of being able to listen at my core, of being able to hold the stillness. I've been doing energy work for more than 15 years. Getting on 20 years, I believe, at this point. And still learning new things. Relatively recently, in the past couple of years, I've entered this whole new level. It was things I hadn't heard put together in quite the same way. Not necessarily new things. Some of them are new and kind of mind-boggling, but many of them are ideas that I had heard at a surface level, but not at a deeper level, and now I'm able to hear them at a deeper level. And there is a relative stillness inside my physical body, inside my being. Historically, I've been go, 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 and recently I've decided that perhaps I don't want to go, go, go. Perhaps I'd like to settle in right here and put some, dare I say, roots down. But I'd like to build something. I'd like to create something with this purpose aspect point level of my life. I'd like to create something and build something with other people that gives a different level of meaningfulness for me. And with the energy work and with traipsing about as I have, this point of stillness is really quiet, actually, where before there was a lot of chatter. And the chatter has a number of different voices. Sometimes it's your parents or your parental figures, your siblings. Sometimes it's the space that you grew up in. Sometimes it's, if you have a relationship with your ancestors, it's your ancestors. I absolutely have a relationship with ancestors, spirit guides, both living and in the other realms as well. And you get to pick. You get to pick what works for you, how many of those elements make sense for you in your life as it is right now. And remember that you can always make a different decision if that initial decision isn't working. And that's one of my strengths, is that I can make a different decision. I'm not afraid to say, hey, this isn't working. Let me make a different decision. Now, the opposite of that is I'm presently learning how to stay in a place and build something, as I said I'd like to do. And sometimes the answer to the question is flipping the question, as I had to do. I was looking from the external side, kind of, why is this happening to me, even though I'm very good at dressing that up. And really, my question is, what is this teaching me, but how can I come from my meanness, the internal, and then move outward from there? So I leave you with that today for our Charli Chats. There are a number of places that you can find me and the work that I am doing. My website is a great place to start, drcharliebrown.com. That is updated regularly. I also have you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook at Dr. Charli Brown for both of those. I have a course. I have a course called an online self-paced course called Practical Tools for Everyday Wellness. If you're really feeling all the feels in this moment, these practical tools will help bring you back to yourself in a place that is grounded and centered. You can check that out on my website, drcharliebrown.com/practical-tools. It's also in the menu bar on my website as well. So, until we meet again, I am Dr. Charli Brown, and I want you to take great care.